Everybody, it's Robert over at Burton Racing, and today we're going to be going over our plug-and-play E85 flex fuel kits. This kit is mainly for Honda users. We offer a resistor version for S300 V3 users and a non-resistor version for K-Pro users. What it's going to allow you to do is tap into power and ground out the fuse box, run it out to the flex fuel sensor included in the kit, and then run the sensor wire back to the ECU so it can be monitored and your ECU can make changes depending on your E85 content. It's specific to Hondas, but it can easily be adapted to nearly any make, model, or chassis. So the main contents of the kit is going to be your Continental E85 sensor. You're going to put this on your return side of your fuel. So the fuel will run through there and it will calculate the ethanol content and send the signal back to your ECU to make changes. We actually include the 3/8 push lock to 6AN line. That can easily be installed. We include both those fittings in case you're using braided line, but if not, you can simply use a worm gear clamp with your existing fuel line as long as it's rated E85. This is the harness portion of the kit. There's a couple different variations of this. This one is going on Jan's CRX running Honda S300 V3. So we have to put a resistor on the plug side so the signal back to the ECU is within a certain voltage limit. We offer non-resistor versions for K-Pro users because they simply don't need a resistor. The actual Honda board does that. We also offer several different versions just like our other plug-and-play kits with a different fuse setup. This is once again going on Jan's OBD0 car, so he's going to use a standard fuse. So we offer it in a standard fuse, a mini fuse, which is typically OBD2 cars for Hondas 96 to 2001, and we also offer this kit in a micro fuse so it can be adapted to nearly brand new cars that aren't already running this ethanol content. We also have a ground ring terminal that'll go next to the fuse box as well, and this actually has the 10-pin connector that will go straight on the analog side of the Honda board. Now we can also offer other wires hanging out to custom lengths, or we can include the pins so you can pin the wires yourself if you already have existing wiring going to your Honda board. All you need to do is let us know at the time of purchase and we can take care of you. Now we're going to go over the installation on the ECU side, and then we're going to go over the installation in the car. So here we have Jan's ECU. It's running a Honda S300 V3 board with our coil-on plug kit. We're going to start by pulling the cover off. Now you can set up the sensor to run off a specific analog port. We're going to have it set up at the analog 0 port. This is the actual connector that you want. So we're going to run it just inside here, line it up with the AN0 logo. The more pins you have in this connector, the more stable it will be on the board. As you can see, it wobbles a little bit there because there's only one pin there. So if you wanted to add a couple pins and then cut the wire off flush so it'd be more stable onto the board, that'd be fine. We're actually just going to simply run this out here. You can hook it up out of the way. You could zip tie it to the center support of the board as well. And now we're going to be ready to run this sensor over to the fuel line side. So now we're doing the underdash portion of the install. We have Jan's underdash fuse box and our fuse tap that we're going to install into it. If we were going to use an existing circuit that's being used in the car right now, we would simply remove one of the fuses and install it into the bottom portion so that circuit's still complete. But since we have a couple empty slots here, we're just going to use an empty slot. So we're going to leave the bottom portion empty, and we're just going to add our 10 amp fuse to the top to complete the circuit for the fuse tap going to the E85 sensor, and just install it like that. And then we also have our ring terminal. It's a 1/4 inch hole, so it's going to fit 10mm bolts and studs underneath the dash. Just make sure you have a clean spot without rust or paint on it to complete your circuit. Now we're going to move to the underhood portion of the install. Unfortunately, Jan's car is in a really tight spot where we're going to be mounting the ethanol sensor, so we're just going to attach a picture of that and give a little explanation. You're going to see it's kind of crammed between the intake manifold and the firewall with a clutch line coming out of the firewall. So here we have the sensor connected to our harness, and we use OEM style connectors, so you're also going to receive a safety clip for the backside of the sensor, which you would just insert like so, and that's going to lock this onto here, so it can't be tampered with or anything. Like I said, that's an OEM style clip, so if you plan on taking this off a couple times, I would probably leave this off until you're 100% sure it's going to be on there for a long time. So we just reviewed the kit contents of the E85 flex fuel kit that we offer, and we also went over the install on Jan's car. Our kit's complete all the way down to the wiring. All you'll need to do is run your return fuel line to the sensor. Unlike most kits, our resistor is properly mounted and secured, so you don't have a big bulky piece in the middle of your harness that's going to be fragile if it needs to be bent. We also offer the resistor and non-resistor versions. This kit can also be built to custom lengths. All you need to do is contact us. If you're not running a Honda car and you're unsure if it'll fit, just let us know, reach out to us. You can find us on Facebook, all sorts of social media, Instagram. We have a website and email.